Now we'll style our header. So we have already linked our style.css file in our index.html. So let's go to style.css. First of all, we'll apply some global styling. So we'll type star over here, and here we'll type box sizing to border box. Now let me explain to you what will happen if the box sizing is not set to border box. So if you have a division with a width of say 100 pixels and then you have a border of 4 pixels, then the total width of that division will be 100 pixels plus 4 pixels of border on the left side and 4 pixels of border on the right side. So the total width would be 108 pixels. But if you add box sizing to border box and if you add border or padding to your division, then the width of the division will not change. So in our case, the width of the division including the border will be 100 pixels. And the next thing we'll do is we'll remove this margin over here. So we'll type margin 0, and if I save this, we can see we don't have any margin in our page. Now we'll also give some style to the body. We'll give the body a font family of railway. So here we can see our font has changed. Now we'll style the actual header element. So we'll just write a comment header. Now to access a tag, all you have to do is type the name of the tag and write our style inside these curly braces. And if you have a class like we have over here in our video, we have a class called main video. So if you have a class, then you can access that by typing the name of the class over here. And if you have a division, then you can type hash and the name of the division and write your style inside here. So this is how you can access the elements inside HTML for styling. Alright, now we'll style the header. So first of all, for the header we will give it a height of 100 viewport height. Viewport height is the height of the window, so it will be 100% of the height of our window. But if we scroll down, we can see that it has a height of more than 100 viewport height. This is because the video has a large height, and so we have the heading and button pushed down. So what we'll do is we will set the overflow to hidden. So now we can see that we cannot scroll down, but our heading is still below our video. So first of all, we will set the position of our video to absolute. So for that, first of all, we have to set the position of header to relative, and we'll set the position of video to absolute, and we'll also give it a minimum height and a minimum width. So minimum height of 100 viewport height and a minimum width of 100%. Now our text is right here, but we cannot see it because the video is on top of that. So we have to set the Z index to something lower than it is now. So right now the value of Z index is 1. So if we'll set to say -100, then we can see our video is behind the text, and you can see the header over here. Now the next thing we'll do is place this header and button in the center of our header element. So for that we can use flexbox in CSS. Flexbox is basically a way to arrange items on the screen. To use flexbox, you have to first of all set the display of the parent element to flex. So our parent element is header, so we'll type display flex, and then to center it vertically you can type align items to center, and to center it horizontally you have to type justify content to the center. Now by default the direction of flexbox is set to row, so we have this heading over here and this button on the right. So to change that you have to just type flex direction to column. So here we can see the heading is at the top and the button at the bottom. We'll also set the color of the text to white. You can also put a hex value over here. So if I hover over this color, we have this extension which gives us the colors, and if I click on this we get the hex value. Alright, so now we will go ahead and style the h1. So we will type h1. We'll set the margin to 16 pixels and set the letter spacing to 4 pixels. We'll set the font size to 48 pixels and the font weight to 400. Now we'll style the button. So for the button we have given it a class of btn. So he will type .btn because this is a class. Now first of all we'll set the background color and we'll set it to 23B5B5 and we'll set the color of the text to white, and we'll also set a padding of 12 pixels and a minimum width of 160 pixels and text align to the center. Actually we'll set the color of the text to black and we'll set the font weight to 900 and we'll get rid of this underline. So for that we have to type text decoration to none. Now we'll set a top margin for our button so that we will have a space in between these. So here we'll type margin top and we'll set it to 16 pixels. And we'll also give it a border. So we'll type border and the thickness of our border should be 1 pixel. And there are different types of borders, so we'll just set the border to solid. And we'll also set a color of the border to white. Now the last thing we'll do is set a margin for our icon so that we will have a space between this word and this icon. So the icons are inside our I tag. So if I go over here, we can see this is the I tag. We will access that over here, and here we will type margin, and for the top and bottom we will have a margin of 0, and for left and right we will have a margin of 8 pixels. So that's basically it with the header. In the next video we'll start designing the navigation bar.